Alright, today I will talk about a new film titled The Long Walk. This film is based on a book titled The Long Walk by Stephen King. The story of this film is very similar to the book, where there is a lot of people that are tasked to travel across hundreds of miles to, just walk 400 miles. And if you stop, you will die, because the army will shoot you down. Now, that concept in paper may be intriguing, walking with their own problems, with their own backstories, because if it is on a book, you can explore the backstories of these characters, You can spend a lot of time with them, with occasionally getting shot at, because that is the point of the movie. If you stop walking, you will get shot by the army. And well, I did not read the book, so I came here point blank without knowing what it is about before watching it. And after I watched it, I feel like this is one of the most boring Stephen King stories, because maybe this did not even need to be put on screen. He can create something like Pennywise, and it is very worthy to be put on screen. But this story in particular, I think, it is very hard to be put on screen, because with the concept of hundreds of people traveling across 400 miles, I feel like that concept alone, if you put it on screen, it would be very tedious and it gets old pretty quick. And when I was watching the film, I felt that way, because for the first 30 minutes, I felt very invested. I wanted to know more about this concept, this story, what would go down in this. But after like the 30-minute mark, I started feeling a little bit bored by the story, because I really wanted to see where this goes. But the movie takes a long ass time to get to the point. And when you talk about the performances, basically there are two leads here, played by Cooper Hoffman, and the other one played by David Johnson. Performance-wise, they are both great, Along the walk, their brotherhood really starts to grow, and they care about each other's survival, and you have a profound understanding about two of these characters. Now, my problem with that is there is one final decision at the end that really screws up that. You see, the main character portrayed by Cooper Hoffman, his motivation is to kill the Major, because the Major killed his dad. The motivation is plain and simple. By the end of this movie, he chooses to sacrifice himself for the other guy's survival. And I understand why he did this, but from a writing standpoint, from a narrative standpoint, I wanted this person to succeed, to get his revenge on the Major. But the excuse of it being like, I will sacrifice myself to this guy's survival, I feel like it is a little bit lame. I don't know if that is the true ending of the book or not, or they changed it for this film, but that is the final ending, and it just doesn't sit right with me. Now, there are some positives about this movie, of course. The movie looks really good, The movie really looks a lot like, this is a dystopian town, and you get that feel. That's about it. The performances are amazing from both of these actors, but other than that, man, this film is a chore to get through, because this film is boring. There are a couple kills here and there that makes you kind of scared, worried, but other than that, there's nothing to look for in this film. And I can say that this film is a pointless adaptation, because this film is a proof of that you don't need to adapt every Stephen King stories out there. Would you imagine if this story gets adapted into a miniseries? No one would watch that. So, I will give The Long Walk a 5 out of 10. Yes, the performances are quite okay, but other than that, there's nothing to look for in this film. And it is a really boring film. It's a slog to get through. So 5 out of 10. If you have seen The Long Walk, tell me everything that you know, everything that you like, or how does it compare to the book? Because I know there were some changes made in this film. How does it compare to one another? Which version is better? Tell me everything. Drop it in the comment section down below, and see you on the next video.